Hey everyone, I'm so sorry that I've been gone for so long, but as you've probably seen in the community post, my molar had broken literally in half, and unfortunately, I could not save the tooth. It had to be pulled. I could not open my mouth for a long time completely. It hurt to talk. It had a small infection, but then I got a new job. But hey, now I'm back. Hello, what's up, and welcome everyone. My name is Miss Quinn, and we have a lot more information to go over on this channel about the upcoming game Lost Records Bloom and Rage. Again, my apologies for being super late with this, but hey, at least with me being kind of late, I got more information. All right, let's get it going. For a bit of a background information, in my last video, I spoke about Life is Strange creators Don't Nod coming out with a brand new game called Lost Records Bloom and Rage late this year. Now, rewind back to 1995 in Lost Records Bloom and Rage, a brand new narrative adventure game from the creative minds behind the critically acclaimed series Life is Strange. Film Your Last Summer Velvet Cove, playing as Swan, a quirky introvert who loves capturing reality through the lens of her trusty camcorder. The magical summer of 1995 is one of self discovery and forging unbreakable bonds for high school friends Swan, Nora, Autumn, and Kat. 27 years of no contact later, fate reunites them to confront the long buried secret that made them promise to never speak again. Now, what really happened that summer? Again, in my last video, we had also no idea of their names, but hey, now we do. Like I said, a little small benefit. On April 30th of this year, we had the names revealed on a Twitter post, and yes, it even made me more excited to play. I squealed, but you kind of didn't need to know that last part. Anyway, we have Kate, who is the pragmatic, strong-willed one of the group. Autumn is the thoughtful and charismatic leader. Nora is the rebellious, eccentric, and full of energy. And lastly, the one that we play as, Swan, is a wonderful introvert who likes to capture reality through her camera. And yes, I pronounce introvert bad, and as you notice, I also skipped one word there because I did 4 takes on it and I just could not get it right for some reason. Listen, pronouncing stuff is hard for me sometimes. Now, the things I do want to go over in this video, however, are the trailers. I did mention in my last video that that was something I wanted to do, so hey, why not do it now? The first thing we see after the small jam sesh is a calendar showing July 95. Now, dusting off my memory, classes end in June. But would we be starting off at that point in time or a month after classes end? Or is this when Swan finds out she'll be leaving? I don't know. There was a lot of questions through my mind. The next scene is honestly the cutest for me because I am a hopeless romantic and I just love love, like absolute love, like love friendships, love relationships, whatever. But we see Autumn and Swan holding hands, so this for me is probably setting like a best friend dynamic that we will be, interacting with in the game. Later, they are seen sneaking through a forest to participate in some underage stuff, which just highlights how close they have become. It's soon after this that we see them running away from something, then a fire is blazing out. So, what the hell started the fire? With them seemingly trying to get out of a burning cabin, which could lead for quick time events, and Nora seemingly fainting around fire. It's giving chaotic. However, this is the type of chaos that I'd like because we are going to choose between helping Nora or helping run away. I have no idea, but that's what I'm getting from this small scene here. Now, These are questions I now need the answers to. But the more important question is what the hell are they being hypnotized by? Whatever they're looking at is projecting this powerful purple glow, and it's holding their attention. Now, could whatever that is captivating their attention be the reason for the fire? It would make sense. It would also make sense of why they're panicking. Well, besides that, and the fact that, well, fire is dangerous, which, remember guys, only you can prevent forest fires. But anyway, it wouldn't surprise me if it has some weird powers that can potentially, make fires or something. Or maybe it was their same lighter that they used to light up the first cigarette, and then, well, yeah. I'm not going to lie, however, this scene right here reminds me so much of Stranger Things, and I can't help but wonder if they took inspiration from that. And I wouldn't be opposed to that, though.
It's been 27 years, y'all. Why now? Because we made a promise.
Now, the last part we see slash hear Autumn asking why they have to go back after all this time. And what I'm presuming Swan says, because we promised. Something that is very reminiscent of It by Stephen King, where they go back after 27 years. This again is something I absolutely have no problem with. They most likely lost contact in hopes that whatever they experienced those many years ago won't happen again as long as they don't speak to each other, which I could understand that. Now, on April 29, we were gifted another video by Don't Nod through their tweet that read, "Goodbye Velvet Cove. It's Swan's last summer here. She plans to film it all. Her life, her favorite places, and her cool new friends. But she might record more than she expected to." Now, with this right here, it is obviously telling me that she didn't know who Autumn or Kate or Nora were. They were just regular girls that she literally just met, and then they have become super close when they were hanging out and discovering all new things about each other, which would make sense considering that Swan is an introvert. She wouldn't exactly go out of her way to meet new people, but since she's leaving, it would make sense why now she wants to record everything, because she wants to hold on to the memories before she leaves.
Hello, little bird.
In this second video, we are given the date June 1st of 1995, and it does make me think that we're going to start at the last days of school in order to get to know everybody a bit. Because, again, dusting off my memory cap, school usually ends mid-June. Because, obviously that's when you see all the people, putting out graduation photos and saying, "I'm so excited to graduate." It's usually around the beginnings of June, and the middle of June is when they usually start graduating from there. So it does make sense.
Goodbye, Velvet Cove. I'll soon be flying away too.
A few scenes later, we see Swan recording Autumn and Nora from far away like a creep, which makes Nora fall. But hey guys, it's okay because she's a creep, she's a weirdo, and I have no idea what the hell she's doing there. And if you don't get the reference, then I'm sorry. Jokes aside, this is probably when she starts talking to Autumn and Nora, which again makes sense because if she already knew them before, she would have no reason to record them from such a distance. So in June 1st, this is probably setting up her relationships with the three other girls. The next scene, we get to see the blue spruce, which I can only guess that this is going to be one of the locations that we'll get to explore. I'm also guessing that this girl right here is Kate, and this lovely man here is just saying hello. I honestly think that the Blue Spruce, either way, is going to be a hangout spot, considering that they have mentioned us that will be hanging out with these girls, which makes sense because we will need to develop the relationships with these four girls.
Rude.
The next scenes here are just some beautiful spots that I'm sure we're going to get to see. Even this abandoned playground looks like another potential hangout spot. But this symbol right here is interesting. The camera even stays on this symbol for a little too long, and it kind of reminds me of crop circles, but that's just me. Either way, when the camera does linger on it, that is showing us, the viewer, that that symbol is important. And considering that the camera starts, glitching out, it could be a transition effect. However, for me, it gives me the meaning of this symbol right here is important and is most likely, I'm 80% sure, is being linked to what happens to them later on. Maybe they're investigating the symbol by some reason, or they just happen to bump into something in their usual hangout spots. And, as kids do, we like to play detective or actually do detective work for some reason. I don't know. Or probably that was just me in high school because yeah, you know what? Let's just keep going.
This is Swan Holloway. And if you find this video, it's because I'm dead.
But with all this speculation on the videos, what is it that we actually do know? Well, according to this article by Games Radar, the game will be broken up into 2 parts, which is something I do very much like. Now, don't get me wrong, I love that we got to play all of Life is Strange True Colors right off the bat, but waiting for the next part got me excited about the game. It got me to have a lot of discussions with other people that I knew liked the Life is Strange genre, and we kept bouncing up ideas about what can possibly happen in the next, episode, but we weren't able to do that with True Colors, seeing as that we had everything right away. They were even quoted saying, "We clearly give, at least at the end of the first episode, a natural pause point where you can reflect on what's happened." Now, even if you want to wait for everything to be released and play everything consecutively, you can still have this moment to pause during some credits before starting part 2. So you can still reflect on what happened. And I'm sorry for that weird pause. I needed to breathe. Now, this is because the developer did mention that they missed the Game of Thrones style release schedule, which I honestly do get it. I like shows that give me excitement, but then again, I also like watching stuff like Love is Blind and The Circle, which do have a release schedule. They don't let you binge everything unless you wait for the entire season to come out, and then you can binge it. But meanwhile, they only give you certain amount of episodes to watch before a certain date, and then they bring it back up. The Circle had a similar thing where they would release episodes on Wednesdays, or was it Tuesdays? It was one of those 2 days, but I liked it. And I also like the complete binging everything because I do binge Naked and Afraid. Again, I totally understand both of these parts, but for, Don't Nod, I really do recommend the whole putting everything into separate parts because that is what got them a lot of traction to even begin with. Well, that and just amazing storytelling. Let's not count Life is Strange 2. But apart from that, yeah. The website Gaming Trend, they put out more information about the game. We already know that this is going to be a narrative adventure game in Velvet Cove. We know the time frame already, which is the summer of 1995, while 4 of the girls become best friends and hang out. But what I find interesting is that something changes all of their lives. And it even says that after 27 years of silence between them, they reunite to confront the dark secrets that made them promise to never speak again. Now, not only does this kind of like conflict what we saw in the trailer, because remember, Autumn does say, why after all this time? But I'm pretty sure Swan is the one that responds, because we promised. Anyway, whether it was a promise of going back or a promise of never speaking until something happens, I'm not sure what happened there, who got it wrong, but either way, it's clear that they took a really big inspiration from it by the whole 27 years thing. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, because if none of you have ever watched it, which I strongly recommend, they essentially beat Pennywise the clown. However, they think they beat him. However, Pennywise comes back every 27 years. So he came back. They got, their memories back. Well, not everyone. I forgot who got it back first. But anyway, one called up the rest of them, and slowly they began to remember everything. And they were all asking the question, why now? And he's just like, we made a promise. We have to go back. This seems to be what they're recreating, which I honestly really like it. This just makes me even more excited. And now, because this is broken up into 2 parts, and I am seeing that they're taking heavy inspiration from it, which again, it's a really good thing. I'm not knocking it. It's letting me know that the first part will most likely be them as high schoolers, and the second part, we're going to be playing Swan as an adult. So the first part is going to be them as children, just like, the movie of It Part 1, where it was just mostly focusing on them as children, and It Part 2, where it was mostly focusing them as adults with the occasional flashbacks. That is if what I'm thinking of is correct, but I highly do think that's the case here. And even though it'll be split up into 2 distinct parts a month apart, this is great. This is fantastic. This is, as I mentioned, a good way to drive up excitement and hype in so many discussions, which I will be putting in one theory way before anything even comes out later this year. So lock it in, guys. Write me down for this theory, because I will not be changing my mind. Remember, this game comes out later this year. So I'm putting in my theory I'm like pre-ordering my theory. If I'm right about this game being inspired by It by Stephen King, then either 1 or 2 of these characters are not going to make it by the end of this thing. My guess is that either Kate or Autumn are going to be the ones to leave. I'm not going to go for both. I think both is really reaching it, because that would mean only Swan and Nora will be left. And maybe that's not what the developers want to do here. But it does make sense for Kate and Autumn to be the ones to leave. And the only reason why I say that is just because Autumn is the charismatic leader of the group. So obviously she would feel the need to make certain sacrifices for the good of the team. And also Kate is almost the same thing, except she's not a leader. She is described to be strong-willed. So if anything, she is going to be the braver one and want to take chances that the rest of them do not want to take, which could unfortunately mean that she is going to kick the bucket or be turned into a hashtag before anybody else. But anyway, guys, that is it for me. Thank you so much for watching and having so much patience with me while I've been gone. I'm not going to lie, I've been anxious about posting again. I don't know, I just been afraid, because I was just like, what if I'm like back after my tooth and they're just like, this, B was gone for so long, like F her or whatever. But I'm here and I'm back. I'm sorry. Anyway, please let me know of any theories you have about the game in the comment section down below. If you even want to put any theories out there, or if you want to say, Quinn, I don't think your theory is correct. I think Swan will be the one because she wants to show that she's not the introvert that she is. or anything. Put anything that you want to talk about in the comment section down below. Anyway, guys, that will be it for today. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And remember, you are loved, you are cared for, and you are the most amazing person that you know. So stay awesome, stay true to you, and goodbye.